Ivan the producer. Ivan the producer.
Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me hop over here real quick. Can y'all hear me though or not? Let me know. Yes, sir. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Awesome. What's good, guys? Let me go ahead and hop back over here real quick. But yo, happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a blessed Monday so far. Hopefully, you guys had a great New Year's. Hopefully, you guys were able to spend it with some family, staying warm. You know, I was out in Reno and it was super cold. I was layered up, had freaking thermal pants on underneath the pants, had double layered jackets. It was cold out there, but it was a good time. But guys, I do see some setups cooking for this week, and I'm interested in seeing what we can do. So let's go ahead and hop over to the charts real quick. Let's see what we got. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Here we are. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let me see. You guys can see my charts now, right? Let me go ahead and check. Sorry, guys. I am on OBS. It is a streaming service or a server, and I'm new to this, right? So bear with me. Bear with me. You know, we're usually on Zoom, but you guys can go ahead and see my chart now, right? We're all good. We're all together on this. Awesome. Let's go. Let's go. So let's go ahead. Look at the charts. This is the U.S. dollar. Let me see. This is the U.S. dollar. Let's go ahead and hop in the daily time frame. I'm gonna go ahead and break this stuff down to you real quick. So what I'm looking at here, let me go ahead and just check and make sure we're all good. Awesome. Okay, everything is looking sharp. Now, this is what I'm looking at on the dollar. Now, I'm still in favor of some bearishness. I ain't gonna lie, because I do see, even though this is like higher time frame and large market structure, I do take higher time frame in consideration, and I do like the higher time frame bias. Now, look, notice how we change direction, and we are holding this zone, and we are consolidating, and we're stuck in this range. However, the market right now in this area, as we speak right now, it is in that downward trend. So let's go ahead and break down structure. Now, let's go ahead. Let me get this out of here. Last week, I was telling you guys that, we have possible sells in this area. This I was looking at, a break of structure to the upside, followed by a change of direction. But not only that, we did respect a starting point in this area. So I was thinking, you know what, we might have some more continuation moves to the downside. That's what my thought process was, because I can clearly see we had a break of structure, and we also followed with a change of direction. So I'm saying, you know what, we can probably get some more downward momentum. And I was able to, market made some trendline liquidity, right? So I marked that up. So I'm telling myself, there is still incentive to go down, right? There's still incentive to continue this bearish bias. Give me a one if this makes sense, guys. But I'm looking at, I always forget that, like, when I'm streaming, everything is like 5 to 10 seconds delayed. So I'm over here looking at the chats thinking y'all are listening right now. Awesome though. Let's go ahead. Fire, fire, fire. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, the market did not respect this zone the way I would like it to, right? However, as I take a step back and I reanalyze and I look at this, right? Let's just move this out the way for now. The market did create some equal highs and did create some liquidity here, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, obviously, the market swept this. The market swept that. Now, as of right now, it looks like, oops, it looks like it wants to change direction. We still have to wait on that confirmation. It's sitting inside of this buy starting point right now. So, if we change direction and start looking like it wants to go higher, we can continue with the bullish bias. However, I would like to see if we can go ahead and continue to drop. Now, if we can break and close below here by the morning, I would like to see if the dollar can continue dropping, and we can see if we can use that with our bias with the other pairs that we trade. I was looking for a starting point here to see if the market can go ahead and tap into and continue to the downside. However, we missed that, right? And that happens, right? Nothing we can do about that. We did sweep liquidity though. And if we can sweep liquidity and we can get that followed by a change of direction, I'm in favor of continuing the bearishness. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. Give me a 5 if that makes sense. Let's go. Let's go. So this is the US dollar, and this is what I'll be keeping track on this week. We can put this here. Go ahead and just check real quick. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I have to get used to this delay on YouTube. I ain't gonna lie. So this is the US dollar. Y'all can go ahead and save that. Would still like to see if we can get some bearishness with the US dollar. Let's go ahead and we will continue to US 30. US 30 was moving this weekend, man. I'm obviously still in favor of the bullish bias. However, I would like to see if the market can pull back to better prices before we continue going higher. But the market is still flowing to the upside. We have higher high, oops, higher high, higher low. We make a higher high, higher low, higher high, and we're just continuing making new highs. Right now, I would like to see. This is what my eyes are seeing right now off the bat. Is I'm seeing a lot of trendline liquidity, right? So if we can get the market to make its way down here sometime, I'm not opposed of seeing if we can continue with some more opportunities to the upside from this area. Now, obviously, I do understand we do have more closer buy opportunities. However, I would like to see if the market can drop down, clear some of this, and continue going higher. This is just us staying 5 steps ahead, just in case the market does want to go ahead and drop. We can go ahead and find opportunities here and continue with that bullish bias because we do have some major news later on this week. Let me just go ahead and see if you guys can see this. Okay, cool, awesome. Um, we do have news later on this week, right? Thursday we have unemployment claims. On Friday we do have non-farm and an unemployment rate. So keep that in mind, guys. We do have some heavy news towards the end of the week. So don't be surprised. We just made new all-time highs. Don't be surprised if the market wants to go ahead and take a fat drop and make its way down to premium prices. And if that happens, we'll just go ahead and wait for confirmation and ride that market to new highs. You know, that's what I'm looking at right now with US 30. Now, this is what the market is doing, or what has been doing this past week and a half, week or two, right? The market is continuing that bullish bias. We do have this inverted head and shoulder structure. We get new highs, and our market is creating this liquidity. Now, the market swept, even though it doesn't look nice, the market did sweep, and it was followed by a change of direction. Now, honestly, this isn't the nicest, but the market did its job, and the structure did hold. Now, if you were somebody who took this opportunity, that is literally the meanest snipe I've seen on US 30 in a long time, and take off like that. So I got to be honest, US 30 doesn't always move this pretty, but it did for this setup. So if you were somebody who caught this, I would have loved to take in the new highs. And that's a 1 to 12. Obviously, 1 to 12s don't happen every day. They don't happen often, but when they do, you can always take advantage of them. Um, but yeah, again, like I wouldn't be surprised if you guys didn't take this, just because this isn't like this super clean to set up. If we had a wick that was a bit larger, that looked a bit cleaner, you know, I could see a lot more people taking that with more confidence. But nonetheless, I mean, the market still did what it was supposed to do. We did sweep, and the sweep was followed by the change of direction here. It did take a while, but it did happen. Break of structure, change of direction to the upside, and we needed that right shoulder. Market came back. Left shoulder, my neckline, the little itty bitty head. We change direction. When we change direction, we create some trendline liquidity, some equal highs. This is telling us we have some incentive to go higher, right? So keep that in mind. Now, the market does create more structure. Lower low, lower high. Market snipes our freaking zone, and then we continue going higher. So if you didn't get in on here, it is what it is. But now we have our next setup right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just adjust, keep this moving over here. Again, that's more of a liquidity sweep. And we can consider that a break of structure. Break of structure to the up downside, followed by the change of direction. The starting point right here, just to be safe. Make sure y'all set alerts. Make sure y'all set alerts. But honestly, this play was pretty nice. I mean, the equal highs that was set there to let us know, like, hey, there still is incentive to go higher. Because look at what the market did. This was all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back. Yeah, so that was all-time highs. The market made new all-time highs here. Now, as it's pulling back, it's making new equal highs. So, that could have gave us an incentive, or to the idea to continue looking for buys. as we were. So, if you caught this, that was the nastiest play of the year, in my opinion. Like, that was just so clean. The way the market sniped it and took off, that doesn't really happen a whole lot. This clean with US 30. So if you took advantage of that, that was a nice play. But this is the next play, the closest play, um, closest buy opportunity in mind. If we go to the higher time frame, this is our next break of structure. This whole candle here is my daily starting point. So just keep that in mind. This daily starting point was already tapped into. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that as well. So again, closest starting point, closest buy opportunity in mind, but I would not mind if the market wants to go ahead and clear out some of this liquidity that it's leaving behind. Give me a 5 if that's making sense, guys. Or a 2. Let me know. Give me some dollar signs. I gotta wait for y'all because I know the lag on here. It's so funny. We good? Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this for the clarity. Just set your alerts. Even this, I don't even really like this a whole lot when I take a step back and look at it like this. This looks a lot cleaner, but this is the closest one in mind, so let me see. Awesome. Gotta get used to this lag. I'm just gonna clean that up. We already know as soon as it hits this small starting point, keep this in mind. As soon as we hit this small starting point, that's already a daily zone. This is daily buy zone right here. So when the market comes in, let's wait for that change of direction. As soon as we get this market shift, we can now start looking for some more opportunities and shift that market going higher, right? So just keep that in mind. Delete, delete, delete. That is US 30, and I'll just keep it like this because this is what I'll be looking at for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and go to NAS 100. Same idea with NAS. I would not mind if indices dropped. No, I'm zooming out way too much. Wouldn't mind if indices dropped a bit lower. However, this is indices all-time high. This is NAS's all-time high right here, so we still do have some room to take new highs, right? So keep that in mind. NAS just took, US 30 just took all-time highs, and NAS still has some, room to play and give. We can go ahead and slingshot sometime soon. Keep in mind there is news, so if we continue with this bullish structure and we continue to break structure, to the upside, just keep that in mind. We might have some opportunities for news later on this week. But that is what I'm looking at right now. I'm hoping that the market is going to continue to the upside. So, I'm not really interested in these sales here. However, if they happen, we can take a look at them tomorrow morning, as we do as a group in the chats. But as of right now, we don't have sell confirmation on this zone yet. If I'm focused on my structure, this is my closest BOS to the upside. This is my change of direction line here. We do not have a change of direction yet. So the markets can still go higher, which I'm hoping for because I would like that change of direction. I would like to continue the bullish bias with US 30. What am I looking for right now? Yes. But does that make sense? Give me a 10 if that makes sense. I would like to continue that bullish bias with US 30, so I would like NAS 100 to change direction. I would like to see this, left shoulder, neckline, head. Let's go ahead and change direction. We can go ahead and look for opportunities when it comes back. Let me know, let me know. And if in the morning, if we have something that looks like this, market's going higher, let's say we have a starting point or we break up. We break above this, have a break of structure, a little starting point, and we have consolidation by the morning and we get something that looks like this, that gives me more confirmation we're going to continue with that bullishness, so just keep that in mind. If we have some bullish structure by the morning, let's continue writing those buys. But this is just what I'm waiting for. Let's just keep it clean. We either wait for the market to change direction and go higher, or we wait for lower buy zones, right? That's all we're doing. We wait for the market to come down to us, or we wait for more buy confirmation. So if you didn't buy it here and you weren't able to take the opportunity here, we're still waiting for more opportunities to present themselves. Give me 8, if that makes sense. So I gotta make sure I'm just checking the OBS to make sure everything is cool. I was low key nervous. I was like, "Dang, what if I mess up?" Hopefully I don't. I mean, there's still a whole lot of time for me to mess up, but hopefully we good. Let's go ahead. We will label this. Give us some extra confirmation on it just to let us know, right? We were waiting for confirmation for more buys. And this is it, right? Let's go ahead and move on to SPX 500. Man, the markets just made their moves. If you just stayed patient and waited for the market to come to your zones, you could be taking opportunities. Um, Same idea with SPX. This was the last all-time high here. We can see that this is the new all-time high here, right? And the market looks like it does want to continue. The way the market is shifting, right? The market made new all-time highs. We made that fat run. Oops, let's just go ahead and use this. We made that fat large run, right? Now we had these zones. Buy opportunity 1, buy opportunities 2. Whether you took the starting point or the head and shoulder, right? Either one of those is 2 opportunities. Now, notice we either wait for the market to come down or we wait for that shift and change their direction to the upside to let us know there's more opportunities in play. We get a break of structure to the downside, another break of structure to the downside, another break of structure to the downside, and then this is where we change direction. And if you would have waited here, you could have taken an opportunity to ride that buy up. That was a nice play. Break a structure to the downside. Let's go ahead and clean this up. Clean this up. I'll delete this and swap this with this alert because I want to know when the market makes new highs. Let's just confirm with their change of direction. And I'm going to move this zone here. Let's go to the 4 hour just to see if we can create some width. Go to the 8 hour just to see if we can create some width. Okay, cool. Now, even if we look at this, like this is where the breakout happened, right? Massive rally breakout. Technically, on this 4 hour time frame, this is the large starting point, but I'm not really going to play that. I'm not interested in zones like that. 2 hour time frame, my starting point is here. And on the 1 hour time frame, my starting point is here. But I already know what I'm looking for, right? I'm waiting for reactions off of these zones. So whether you take this off of the first touch or not, you never have to take an entry off the first touch. Just because I have a zone here, obviously I want the market to react. However, I don't have to be the first one to react here. I can wait for more confirmation, and I can wait for the market to break and close above here. Yes, I missed this, but what's most important is I get confirmation and I feel confident in taking the next setup, right? Because what if you don't take this one here? What if you missed it, right? And then you have to wait, and that's okay. Break a structure to the downside, we change direction to the upside, and if we can get this, then we get more opportunities, and we continue to shift that market going higher, right? So just keep that in mind. You never have to take the first opportunity. You can always wait for change of direction for more confirmation, but you can't wait again. Once you wait for the first confirmation, hey, you got to start clicking some buttons, right? We can't wait for 20 confirmations in order to start clicking buttons, right? And then you'll never click a button. So just keep that in mind. 1 confirmation, yes. 2, 3, 4. Are you really confident in yourself at that point? You have to ask yourself that question. Are you confident in yourself? And if you're not, then maybe we could take a step back and start going to back testing a bit more and redefine and sharpen up the skills so we can build that confidence back, so we don't have to wait for the 5th or 6th confirmation. Wait that 1 confirmation, and then boom, we snipe the second one. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. That's important because again, that was me too. My first year. There's times where I was taking a couple outs back to back, and I'm like, bro, like what the heck? And then I would be like, you know what? I see this opportunity here, but I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna wait for more confirmation. And I'd be like, okay, well, I see this opportunity here. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for more confirmation. And then I'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna enter here for sure. I'm gonna enter right here for sure. And then you know what happens? It's gone. I missed out. If I didn't enter here when I was supposed to, and I didn't enter here when I was supposed to, the market doesn't owe you every single zone. Does that make sense? So just keep that in mind. If you're not feeling confident, we have to go back and figure out why and sharpen that skill so we can gain confidence. So I hope that makes sense. But this is pretty much what I'm waiting for with SPX. I would like to see if we can get some opportunities in one of these zones and continue to ride and make new highs. Let's go ahead and continue with AUD USD. Let's see. Let me just check, see what we're doing here. See how we're doing here. We're good? Okay, cool. Making sure. All right. So, I was waiting for buys down here. I like to see if we can get some opportunities. We get the break of structure here, the upside. We have higher high, higher low, and we make new highs, right? Breakout rally happening here. My starting point is right here. When that 4-hour starting point is aligning with my daily starting point, that's why this is so big. This is the 4-hour here. So the bigger blue box is my daily starting point. And it goes hand in hand with this inverted. And I'm kind of liking how this is looking. Even if this does go higher, it's okay. It happens. Nothing we can do about that. But I do like how this is looking if it does go higher. Because why? Because let's go ahead and just clear some stuff up. Because I am seeing liquidity. I'm seeing trendline liquidity happen here, right? And this is the structure, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. We had liquidity being built up. The market sweeps that liquidity, and then we continue to new highs. The market created more liquidity. We started dropping down. Now we're on our way back up now, but we might not break and close above, right? We still have to see. We can respect this higher high zone, this resistance zone, and we can make our way bounce and make our way back down, and then we can have some trendline liquidity, right? So keep that in mind. If we stay stuck in this zone and we start to squeeze a little bit, I'm in favor of sell zones down here. And even if we go and make new highs, I'm still in favor of these sell zones here. These zones, we'll just have to save those for later and put those in our back pockets. If the market continues giving us opportunities to the upside, then we'll take these opportunities. I'm not going to ignore them. I'm going to take those opportunities. Why? One, the market is bullish, so I'm going to take these. And two, I'm going to save the zone for later because the market likes to save zones. As long as you can see why the market may come back, I'm seeing why the market may come back. And this all makes sense when it comes to structure. If I go to the daily time frame, technically as of now, I know structure may look half decent, but we don't have the break of structure yet to the upside. And everything right here, down here looks a bit better to me in my eyes, so I'm gonna wait down here and I'm gonna wait for more confirmation with AUD USD. However, I do like sell zones down here, and I do think they can be some swing opportunities for later on, maybe this week, maybe next month, or this month. When, I can't tell you. However, I would set alerts because structure in here is relevant, in my opinion. Now, when we drop to lower time frame, I can see why market structure is respecting, right? We had a break of structure to the downside. We changed direction. So market is respecting our starting point, and it's making new highs, right? So I'm not going to ignore that the market is continuing to be bullish, right? That can happen. Now, tomorrow, right, this right here is going to be an important zone, right? This is going to be an important zone, especially if we respect this resistance line. Everybody who is looking to continue buys may get stopped out. So just keep that in mind. I'm in favor of some buys as well. However, because of liquidity and how it always builds up and how it always stays stuck in this zone, I want to go ahead and wait for confirmation. I'm already looking for the buys. However, if I can drop down and see a 5-minute setup here and I can see the structure shift on that 5 minute, I'm gonna take this opportunity and continue with that bullishness, right? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. I'm in favor of the buys. I want more buys. I'm gonna take it. If the market wants to give us some easy buys, easy setups, I'm gonna take them. However, I do understand what the market likes to do in liquidity, and if it holds, trend lines, and if it just respects, and it respects these zones, and then market will fail. The zone will fail, and then we'll go to the next zone, and things happen. Nothing we can do. So just keep that in mind. I would like to see if we can get some more confirmation, a little change of direction. Once we get that, I would not mind seeing if we can take some of this and sending that back to new highs. I don't know if that's actually new all-time highs, but not new all-time highs, but making new highs for sure, right? That would give me higher high, higher low, and if we can get some structure here in our favor, that would give us some new highs, right? So I am trying to continue with this trend here. But that is what I'm looking at. Let's see, we can adjust. This is a starting point down here. However, this isn't one of my favorite starting points or type of starting points because it is part of holding liquidity, right? So it's not my favorite type of buy zone. I like when the buy zones are the lows or when they take liquidity. Notice how this took lows and then made new highs. This starting point is equal lows right now. So just keep that in mind. I'm not opposed of it buying or respecting, obviously, but if we can get some confirmation off that, I'm gonna go ahead and take the confirmation. I'm personally not gonna take the first trade, and I'm gonna wait for the confirmation, and I'm gonna take this setup here because I do not like the equal lows and the liquidity that is being built, and I like buys lower, right? So I'm gonna stick to what I like to see. And as you should too, right? This is what makes me feel comfortable looking for more buys, and makes me feel comfortable sharing these opportunities with you. When we get these confirmations, that's when we should really feel confident. I'm taking too long with that. I'm gonna just press back. That's when we should really feel confident, when we get these confirmations. But just keep that in mind, guys. AUD USD, NZD USD, same thing. I would like buys much lower. We ended up calling this buyout as well, but I would like to see, because all of this, not liking that liquidity. However, AUD USD and NZD USD build up a lot of liquidity, and they just continue to run. So just keep that in mind, right? I want zones down here. I want the market to make its way down here so we can get some premium prices and make new highs. However, AUD and NZD love to hold liquidity and continue to run. And I hate that sometimes. I hate that sometimes. But yes, I would love buys much lower. However, with structure intact, this zone failed. With structure intact, look at what structure is giving me. BOS to the upside. Need change of direction. This is my higher high, my higher low. This is my higher high. Yes, the market is making its way down. However, we have not changed direction just yet, right? We have not changed direction just yet. So keep that in mind. Actually, structure is respecting this inverted. We had left shoulder, neckline, market drops, gives me my head. We change direction and make new highs. Market came right back into this left shoulder, and we're on its way up right now. So that structure was respected, so I like that. Now let's drop down to lower time frame. I mean, we really don't need to drop down, but it actually gave, oh no, I did not give confirmation. Let's go to the 4 hour just so we can clear some things up. I'm gonna use this. This is my starting point. Again, not my favorite starting point because we're holding liquidity here, right? So, don't be surprised, don't be surprised if the market plays around with us. The market drops, gives us some opportunity, gives us an opportunity, then takes lows, and then we end up going that way, right? Do not be surprised, because if the dollar wants to keep on dropping, AUD will continue going up, but it's not going to make it easy, right? So we have some type of trend line liquidity here, right? I do see that we can go higher because we do not have the change of direction yet. However, these equal lows do not look tasty to me at all. They don't tell me buy, buy, buy. You know, they don't scream buys to me. When I see that, I'm always thinking like, is manipulation going to come in here before going higher? Oops, before going higher. So that's what I'm always thinking. Anytime I see equal lows, I'm always thinking manipulation may happen first before changing direction. And if we change direction, let's see if we can get the opportunity and send the market back up higher. But I hope that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. Right now, it's in a selling starting point right now. However, I would like this to get disrespected and continue going higher. Let's drop down to lower time frame. Structure, I'm going to move this up here. We did break structure to the upside. We do have a starting point. So in the morning, we may have structure that bounces off this so we can continue going higher. Let's see. Let's reanalyze real quick. I do see structure here as well. My little head and shoulder buddy. All of this looks kind of nasty to me. I ain't gonna lie. I would like to see if we can continue. But this right here, we need to get above this, right? We need to get above this structure. This zone here, we may actually even respect, and this zone might even take us to our next buy zone and continue back up. So just keep that in mind, right? If you're looking for the sells, I get it. I can see why. But make sure you get confirmation off of that. Make sure you get confirmation off of that first before you take the sell opportunities, okay? And for the buys, same thing, right? For the buys, same thing. If we do get respect off of this, and the sales come to our buy zones, when the buys come, you could test trade it, but really, I want to see if we can get confirmation. If we can get confirmation off that, I want to run the opportunities here, run the 1v1s, me against the market. But that's what I'm looking for with NZD USD. Oops, now let's keep that. Let's add a change of direction line here because this is crazy. This zone width is crazy. If you guys aren't using these lines for change of direction, break and closes, or even breaks and closes, however you guys trade structure, whether it's smart money or levels, guys, use this. Like if you guys are waiting for breaks and closes, once per bar close, crossing up, crossing down, and leave your phone. Just make sure your phone has the alerts going off and you'll be fine, bro. I promise. Use that. But I would like to see if we can continue going higher. And if we end up changing direction, then we'll go ahead and wait for the sell opportunities. USD CAD. USD CAD. The dollar, USD CAD, USD CHF, they all look a little iffy, right? AU, NU, GU, EU look like they want to buy. All the USDs look like they want to sell to me, personally, right? When we go to USD CAD, we left liquidity here, and we have liquidity down here. And market structure just very choppy. Now, we did take liquidity, so I understand why if the market wants to continue buying. However, this wick right here does not tell me or give me confidence that the market wants to continue buying. That wick right there does not tell me if the market wants to continue buying, nor do I have confirmation on daily time frame to continue buying. So I'm going to sit tight on the buys. Now, the confirmation that I do have is this 1 hour time frame structure to sell. Right? We did this stop loss. I'm sorry, this starting point did hit stop loss. However, it took care of a lot of liquidity, and I believe it sniped this starting point over here. Sniped it. So we took care of this liquidity, and the market sniped this starting point. And with that, look at this structure shift. We have a break of structure to the upside. followed by a change of direction to the downside. Whether you use your head and shoulder or your starting point, both ideas are valid to me. Both ideas are valid to me. And I like how it's moving very slow and very choppy. I like when we change direction. Left shoulder, head. I like when we change direction and we move very choppy and slow. Even if it wants to drop lower first, hey, I like that. Let it drop and range out for a little bit. If we can get this and create liquidity, I'm in favor of taking sales with USD CAD and sending that back down. Give me a 1 if that makes sense with USD CAD. I feel like I gotta wait. Gotta wait forever. 1? Alright, bet. I have to start timing this delay here. But that's my idea that I'm looking at with USD CAD. Let me go ahead and set an alert. I do know the stop loss looks humongous, right? I know there's people that are like, I don't like risking more than X amount of pips. I don't trade like that. I'm sorry. The setup makes my stop loss. So if my stop loss is 33 pips, I'm putting 35 pips. I'm giving it a little bit of room with spread. I want to run my odds with the 1 to 3. This is already a 1 to 1. 1 to 2, 1 to 3. The 1 to 3 almost takes these lows down back to these lows, and I wouldn't mind taking this all the way down. 1 to 4, a 1 to 4. However, I'm obviously going to run my money management and trade management along the way. If you don't like that type of stop loss, a big stop loss, maybe you have to drop down to a lower time frame to get a better, setup for yourself. Once the market's in here, just wait for the same thing to happen again, and you can get in on this setup here and send that back down so you can get yourself a better risk to reward. Something like this, if that makes you more comfortable. However, the 1 hour is looking pretty nice to me. So that's what I'm looking at with USD CAD. And it kind of looks like the dollar as well, just a little bit. Dollar looks a little uglier, but notice how we take this high, we take this liquidity here, and then what happens with the dollar? We sweep that liquidity, and it's followed by a change of direction. Now, if the dollar can continue falling, like we have a starting point right here on the 1 hour time frame. I don't really care if it pulls back, it is what it is. But if the market continues falling and we're down here, that means USD CAD, USD CHF are going to be falling as well. And that'll make, those sell biases a bit better for the US dollar. I hope that makes sense. What the heck did I put right there? Let's see. USD CHF. This isn't my favorite sell setup with the US dollar or USDs. I don't like the equal highs, right? It kind of looks like equal highs to me. I do know that this wick here pokes out above just a little bit. However, it's still too close for comfort. It just looks a bit too much like equal highs, so it's not my favorite setup. However, if we look at it along with the other structure here to the left-hand side, it violates or hits stop loss for a starting point if you had a tighter stop loss, because I don't think anybody's really putting their stop loss up here for a starting point that low personally. I could see somebody putting their stop loss maybe here or maybe here, right? I can see that being more what you guys would be doing. So, this stop loss hits a little violation, or hits stop loss, sorry, that starting point stop loss. And it looks like the market came to this head and shoulder. Now it is on its way to see if we can change direction. So if we can change direction off of that, that would be cool. Give us some more sell opportunities with USD CHF. There is a zone here that I was looking at. However, I don't like the liquidity that is being built up right here in this area. It's just not my favorite. Not liking that. Not liking that at all. So I wouldn't mind if the market wants to go ahead and continue to the downside. However, that's 4 hour structure. If we look at this structure here, this structure right inside of here, we get similar structure to USD CAD and the US dollar. However, USD CAD and the US dollar look a bit cleaner, right? We have a break of structure to the upside, followed by the change of direction. Now, our left shoulder would be here, and our starting point would be this large blue candle here, right? So just keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, because we have equal highs here, don't be surprised if the market wants to go ahead, and this is going to be the toxic USD pair for the for the US dollar pairs, before it changes direction. Just keep that in mind. Anytime I see like equal highs when it comes to a head and shoulder, I'm not really interested on the first touch. I'm usually more cautious, waiting for confirmation. So, even if it does give you some profit, it has to change direction here in order to confirm, right? So let's say the market wants to go ahead and drop. If we continue going higher and we hit stop loss, now I'm focused on this right here. If we can change direction, I'm taking this opportunity and shifting it all the way back down, right? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. And I just want to I don't want to say remind you, but I guess remind you to stay cautious when it comes to head and shoulders that give equal highs. I don't really bite on the first touches. When we get head and shoulders that give equal highs and change direction, I'm always waiting for a little bit of manipulation, right? So just keep that in mind. Yeah, just keep that in mind. But something that I'm looking at with USDCHF. So if we even go lower, right? If we even continue to go lower, awesome. That even gives me more confirmation. They saved this zone for later. When the market wants to go ahead and come back, we'll go ahead and see if we can take an opportunity and shift that market back down, right? Give me a 3 if that makes sense, guys. Let me know. Let me know if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not really liking any of this at all. It kind of just looks kind of ugly to me. Would like this to get taken out. I'm gonna delete this. Doesn't look really too clean for me. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at with USD CHF. So just keep that in mind, guys. We are waiting for some opportunities to cook up. Let's go ahead and move this opportunity up here. This alert. We can delete this alert. Bet. Oh, did it snipe this starting point? I didn't even see that earlier when I was marking up. That's crazy. Did it really snipe that? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm still favor of EUR and GBP in a bullish trend. Obviously, the dollar has been dropping, so EUR has been rising. Now, the dollar EUR did drop down and broke structure to the downside. However, I am not liking these equal highs at all. I'm not really biting. Even though we do poke above, it's still too close for comfort for me. Now, I know sometimes that may be how do I say it? Like when you back test, because it can be, I know someone's looking at that and be like, well, it swept liquidity. You're right, and it did, and that's why the market dropped down. However, when you back test, you start to really recognize the sweep of liquidities that really give the drops. I'm not saying this wasn't a good drop. The market dropped to do what it was supposed to do, to come back down to the next buy zone. However, when you back test and you start to understand the clean structure of the real reversals, this is, to me, this is too much. This is too close to equal highs, and this is too much trendline liquidity for me to bite on the sells to continue. There's too much liquidity being built up here. There's too much liquidity. So I'm in favor of the buying for the buying to continue. Obviously, it looked like it missed this daily starting point that I had waiting for us, and it sniped this 1 hour starting point, which is crazy because that was a freaking nasty snipe. Let's delete this. We can delete. Oh, let's just move this down here. right? So look at this, guys, right? This is, in my head, a big inverted head and shoulder. The market was consolidating forever, consolidating forever. Consolidation, consolidation. We sweep buy side liquidity and we change direction. I didn't do it, but we changed direction and we're starting to head up higher. So if we can continue with some more bullishness, we can actually have a bigger inverted head and shoulder on our hands. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Left shoulder, neckline, the head, we change direction. If we can get the change of direction to happen, big swings coming soon to this area here to shift it, to continue that market higher, right? But obviously we have to get that change of direction to happen. Now, I do like that we get the breaker structure to the downside, right? We come into this buy zone, and market structure just gave us beautiful structure, in my opinion. Like, look at how clean this is. Left shoulder, a little bit of consolidation. Neckline, the head, we change direction. That's nice. In my opinion, that's nice, right? Nice structure, very, very clean. It's not ugly. We don't have to fight to find it. It looks very, very nice, right? My inverted head and shoulder. I would like to see the buys come down here. That's the lowest buy zone, the lowest buy zones after the sweep. Now we did break structure a couple hours ago to the upside, so we do have a starting point here. So we can actually continue to we can possibly continue buying tomorrow, right? If we respect and change direction, possible buys tomorrow off of this zone. Keep that in mind. Now, this is my change of direction. Now, I'm going to keep this here and I'm going to set an alert to remind me or to notify me where the market is actually changing direction now. Get ready for the buys to come to your zone, right? Market breaks and closes. I'm notified. Now, once the market is in my zone, I start to look for the buy opportunities to shift that market higher, right? I already got confirmation. We broke structure to the downside and we changed direction after sweeping liquidity. Why didn't the market just continue going down after breaking structure to the downside? Right? We just broke structure to the downside. Why didn't the market just continue going down? There's a reason why the market built up all this liquidity, right? All this liquidity during the holidays. All this liquidity was being built up during the holiday. Look at this. December, pretty much all December. December 11th started right here. This is where liquidity started. All December we were in consolidation. And then come the New Year's, January 2nd, January 3rd, January 4th, January 5th, we get the break of structure. January 5th, we get the change of direction, and we're continuing to break structure to the upside, right? So I'm favoring the buys with EUR USD. It just depends on if it's going to respect this zone or if it's going to come down and give us a lower entry down here. Give me an 8 if that makes sense. So, guys, something to keep an eye on. I do like this for a swing opportunity. Now, again, from back testing, a lot of the swing opportunities happen in the beginning of the year, and then people play catch up towards the end of the year. What do I mean by that? Right? If we want to catch this move, then this move has to happen first. And this is going to be the nastiest swing of the year. And then, obviously, towards the end of the year, the market starts to drop and come back for lower zones, right? So keep that in mind. I'm trying to catch us some nice swing opportunities to continue with EUR USD. So set your alerts, mark up your zones, and stay ready, guys. Stay ready. For the morning, I'm looking for this to happen. Break a structure to the downside, followed by a change of direction. Nasty, nasty. EUR USD, nasty. Oh my goodness. Look at these snipes, bro. Look at these snipes, guys. I'm pretty sure I set this up for you on Monday. When is this? This is December 31st. So this was Friday? Yeah, this was Friday. The heck? Oh, for sure. This was Friday? When was Monday? Monday was here. I can almost guarantee y'all I set this up for you guys last Monday. If you guys took this, when was this? The 31st? This was New Year's Eve. And there was no news. No, I don't even think. Was there news? I think there was news for USD actually. Guys, This was set up last Monday for y'all. All you had to do was set an alert, mark up your zones, and wait. It took a whole week, but look at where the market is now. That's a snipe. What is drawdown? Market gave you 160 pips. 160 pips, bro. Zero drawdown. Insane. Not only that, if you drop down to the 1 hour time frame, I didn't look at the charts a whole lot this weekend because I was with, my girlfriend for the holidays. However, look at what the freaking market does. Break a structure, or no, this would be a liquidity sweep to the downside. Now, if you guys take notes, all you guys really have to do is take notes and apply them. You don't even need to know and understand it all 100% right now. But if you can visually see that the market went lower and then we changed direction, guys, this was opportunity number 2, and you could have sent that market back up. 1 to 3 already hit. Market's chilling out at 1 to 4 right now. This was the opportunity, and I can almost guarantee you. I'm pretty sure I didn't call this out on Friday. I think we back tested Friday. Yeah. But this here definitely set this up for y'all. And if you guys do yourself some justice and you guys take notes, when it's time to take notes, and you back test and you mark up and you ask your questions, you could have taken this opportunity here. Not only that, it gets even better. In my opinion, GBP USD was the best forex pair trading this last weekend. Because not only did it give you the opportunity here and give you the opportunity here, on the way back down to the structure, look at what it does for you. Break a structure to the downside. Break a structure to the downside. BOS. Guys, markup structure is going to help you. Change of direction. My starting point is here. You could have gotten in again right here before the market continued. In my opinion, GBP USD was the best forex pair, and it moved like a freaking boss last weekend. Crazy. So if you guys trade GBP USD, I hope you guys ate really, really good. Now let's jump to higher time frame, and we can go ahead and reanalyze here. I'm gonna go ahead and move this zone over here. This is my brand new, my closest, my freshest starting point. Make sure I set an alert. Now on the lower time frame, let's just label this. This is my breakage structure. Oh, I like this one better. I ain't gonna lie. My goodness. All right, I like that starting point a bit better. All right, so I do see the market is breaking structure to the upside. So same rules apply. We may get some buy opportunities for tomorrow, and if we change direction off of this, then the market will be coming down to our lower zones. So in the morning, we are waiting for change of directions to the upside. As the market is dropping, we wait for this change of direction, and we can get in right here and continue that market going higher. So just keep that in mind, guys. That is what we are waiting for with EUR USD and GBP USD. And then the very last one, if I'm not mistaken, USD MXN. Juan, I hope you're on this call, Juan. Juan, we called this out, bro. Me and you together. I don't even trade USD MXN like that. But let's see. At the time, I got to pull out my calendar. Let's see. What is this? This is the 17th. Okay, the 15th. Where's the 15th at? All right, the 15th. Say most likely the chart was right here. Continue. No. Start new. The 15th. So we were around right here. Right? We marked it up. I told everybody that this was the cleaner zone. Why? Because one, we sweep liquidity here. and then we continue to the downside. But not only that, notice how the market built some liquidity here. So I'm like, okay, cool. The market does look like it wants to continue down, but it built liquidity. And I like how the market sweeps and continues. So this right here is a fresher zone for me. Now look at how it's just building liquidity. Just building liquidity. Now the market makes its way, but also as the market is building liquidity to the downside, it built liquidity to the upside, letting me know, hey, there still is some incentive. So even though I set it to a 1 to 3, we could have taken the market down to at least here, to a 1 to 3.8, almost a 1 to 4, close enough. And we let it run. The market does its thing. Took some time, but it does hit TP. Boom. Schmacking. Schmacking. So now let's get out of here. Let's leave it. The next area that I thought was worth taking in here was this setup. But at the same time, let's delete, let's delete, let's delete, let's delete. But at the same time, I understood we had liquidity here as well. And look at what the market does. Well, we just build liquidity here. So right now what I'm looking at is I think this is consolidation. This looks like consolidation to me. We're stuck in this range. Now, even though we do go lower, now it just made a bigger range. Now we're just stuck for real. So if the market wants to go lower, I want to see the market break out to the downside. Right? That's one. Now let's go to a higher time frame and see what's cooking on higher time frame real quick. Look at this starting point happening here. Daily starting point. Awesome. That's cool. So if the market wants to range out, right? If the market wants to range out, that's fine. If the market wants to come back to higher zones, I will go ahead and wait for confirmation, and when we could take it, that's a bit ugly, but y'all get the idea. Range out, it makes its way back. If we can get some confirmation, we can go ahead and shift that market to the downside. Right? As of right now, on lower time frame, I ain't gonna lie, it doesn't really look like the nicest setup to me right now. Nothing really is standing out to me. Nothing's really like, this is nice, like, nothing really stands out to me, so I'd rather wait for some confirmation here. Now, if we can break and close below here, that can give me some more confirmation, but as of right now, nothing really looks really, really nice, so I'm just going to sit tight. I'm just going to sit tight. But let's see. I believe that is it for me. Yep, that is it. Does anybody want me to go over anything specific? Juan not plugged in. Man, the boy Juan. Where the boy Juan at, bro? Does anybody have any questions? Any questions, concerns? Sorry, now I'm really looking at the chats because I got no other charts to look at. Let me know. Let me know. We are all good, guys? Let's go. Gotta make sure. Gotta make sure. All right, bet. I believe we're good. Let me go back to me. Let me just make sure. All right, no new comments. Bet. All right, guys. Man, market's cooking up really nice. I like what I'm seeing personally. Honestly, guys, with the new year starting, in my opinion, the markets are looking pretty nice. They're cooking up. But just because the markets are looking nice, we don't have to be too aggressive. It's the start of the year. Let's get confirmation. Let's feel comfortable taking these trades rather than trying to make the money. Let's feel comfortable taking these trades to start the year because we know we're already in the money game. The money's already here. We just have to go ahead and build the confidence, build the confirmation checklist in order to feel comfortable to obtain it and then keep it. That's first of all. Let me go ahead and just check this real quick. All right, cool. We're good. Now, guys, make sure you guys are tapped in. We do have some calls later on this week. If you guys are watching from YouTube, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, and if you guys want to let us know in the comments, let us know what educator resonates with you the best, and what you like about the calls, and see how we can go ahead and service you guys, on YouTube as well. But with that being said, guys, that is it for me. I will see you guys Friday night.